much did you have to drink tonight, sir? I don't like this. I didn't sign up for this.
All I have to do is I can select Arthas and use the manipulator to just move him back and forth. And notice how he interacts with the light there. Now I can also scrub the timeline to see exactly how every object lines up on their paths and their animations. And now let's say I wanted to edit the camera and how it rotates around the scene. I select the yaw property here, add a new key to our new curve editor, and I can move the key around to change the shape of the curve and how it animates. And notice in the background how the camera moves around as I update the shape of the curve. Finally, I can move the cursor back to the beginning of the scene, look through the director camera, which just says to play it back as if it was in the game, and see what my cutscene looks like. Now, one thing that's not obvious here is even though we created the cutscene with Arthas in the first place position, that's not always going to be the case. So using triggers, when the cutscene is playing back in game, we can substitute different models in different positions based off of gameplay. So without further ado, I give you a BlizzCon 2011 exclusive sneak peek at the cinematic ending of Heart of the Swarm.
Go to our example tutorial asset. This is our water bath, if many of you are Tasteless fans. So, we're going to show you how to take this from a simple gray mesh, the simplest thing possible, to a living, breathing unit in StarCraft II. We'll show you how to set up the data so they'll be able to attack enemy units and heal your own buildings, set up the materials so it lives correctly in the world. We'll go through and set up the attachment points and the selection volumes so your unit is indistinguishable from one of ours in performance and selection. We'll even go through how to set up the animations to work correctly so you know what you're doing from both sides, either the art creation, the map making, and we call like a stand ready cover, right? That's a weird name, right? And so we'll go through everything, even like making it so you can lay down the insult when you want to slash dance. So maybe you learn better from example and not tutorials, so let's open up everyone's favorite lab tech, Stepman here. So with example files, you can see how we set them up. So you'll be able to know how we set up a story mode asset and our like high quality shaders, or maybe you just want to fool around and see what it's like to do some modeling. So in this case, Stepman's been drinking maybe a few too many of those Blizz Colas around his bandolier. We'll fatten him up, and the only polite thing to do is make sure his clothes at least still fit. So we'll open up the export floater here, which is one of our tools, and kick it over to the cutscene editor. I've preloaded it with the old Stepman for comparison, and we can see pretty soon that it's going to flag us down and say, hey, this high quality asset with all sorts of stuff is ready to go. So this setup works really well if you've got two monitors. That's what we do in-house. You can just have it on the side and just keep sending it over and see what it looks like. He's fat. Awesome. We did it. So maybe you're more creative and you want to do something entirely your own, like this sweet tomatoing I've got here. So we're still hammering out the details, but the basics of it are you export it into your mod, and then you fire up StarCraft II. So I'm going to spare you the load of the map, but we're going to jump into something I call the Salad Temple. And we can see that there's so many tomatolings just pulsing with tomatoey goodness. They live and walk around just like any other unit in StarCraft II. And we look down, and we see there's some Marines standing at the edge of our creek. How dare they! So we'll send in the tomatolings to season them up, and our Zergans are hungry for battle, so they're going to charge in. They're going to go, nom, 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 nom. Delicious. These tomatolings have done exactly what we wanted them to do. They've shown us how to use the StarCraft II art tools, and they've taken out some Marines while they're at it. So I'm glad they've taken the bow. So